Hello, test.
Test.
That was me. I was just thinking. You could
Oh,
follow us.
Oh, just off. I was got a little jump on you, did I? Okay, good afternoon. I am Margaret Kubelins. I work for the city of Tampa and I serve as the ITS chair. And then I have Brian Zeiss next to me, who's my co-chair. And so welcome to today's meeting, which is our quarterly meeting for the ITS transportation, or maybe I should just say it like this, the Intelligent Transportation Systems Committee of the TPO. So let's see. Sorry, I'm in crisis mode, addressing a very big work zone issue that is impacting the county on Jackson Street, just to let you know. So I'm a little, anyway. Okay, so I think at this point, I am going to call the meeting to order. Yay. Okay, so are we gonna go to introductions or just go straight to roll call?
You can do a quick round of introductions. I'll serve as roll call.
Okay, great.
I'm Brian Sayas from Hillsborough County. Is there anybody that's new to this meeting, or anybody that wants to introduce themselves?
Frank Okenauer from City of Plant City, filling in for Fred Baxter.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for being here.
Oh, Jeff Sims, Environmental Protection Commission, Hillsborough County.
So welcome, good to see you. Since we're still in the room, why don't we introduce the audience?
Jonathan Nixon Elder, TPO Center.
Thank you.
Mike Brown, Hart PMO. Angela Rao with Kittleson Associates.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you for everyone being here.
Excellent. Then I'm Harry Walsh, TPO staff and ITS committee liaison, and virtually we have Dexter Corbin from Hart and Achilles Cortelis from Cutter at USF. So, yes, and with that, we do have a quorum.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Okay, so we have first a 3-minute per speaker for public comment. Do we have any public comments? How about online?
I've seen none.
Okay, thank you.
They've done previously sent them.
Okay, good. Good to know. Thank you. All right, our next order of business is the approval of the minutes from May 7th of 2026. First of all, did everyone on the list, did everyone receive a copy of the meeting minutes? Anyone said, is there anyone that did not? Okay, nothing being heard. All right, so do we have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
Motion to approve the minutes. Brian Sayas.
Jeff Sims, I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? None being heard? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None being heard, the motion passes. Okay, well, it looks like we have a very good set of reports to hear. So right out of the gate, under circuit electric micro transit overview.
And I believe we have several of circuit staff online. So Jason, I know they're talking to you. Would you prefer to share your screen and present yourself, or would you like me to advance your slides?
Yeah, I'll do a quick intro. First of all, nice to see everybody here. Harry, thank you so much for the invitation to come in. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks so much for having us today. I'm joined by our CTO, Kevin Iverson, who
Hi,
will
everybody.
go through this deck, but I just wanted to say hello, introduce myself, Jason Bagley, member of the founding team with Circuit. I'm based in South Florida and have been overseeing our EV microtransit program since inception in 2011. So we typically work with municipalities, a lot of private funding partners, and ideally try and marry those two customers together. So a lot of times we'll start with the municipality and then get some add-on investment from a hotel or a large scale employer and other use cases like that. But I will turn it over to Kevin Iverson to run through this deck, and we'll also do a quick live overview of our operational dashboard.
Hi, thanks, Jason. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, let me see if I am able to present. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so Jason already did the introduction, but again, my name is Kevin Iverson. I am the Chief Technology Officer for Circuit. I have not been here as long.
Sorry to interrupt you, Kevin. I think,
Yeah, of course.
I think that was me sharing the screen. If you want to
Oh.
give it a shot. So I'll stop
Okay.
sharing. If you want to go for it.
Yeah. Let me try again. Shoot, it's giving me a permissions issue. I might have to drop one quick. Sorry, I had to install Teams right before I got on. I will be right back. Apologies.
Just a moment, everyone.
Good to see you, the chief technology officer against technology. Not the only.
There's different features between the Teams app and the web version.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, we'll give him a minute. If not, I think I could probably share mine, but we decided he was going to do the live run through. So appreciate the patience.
No worries.
Sorry about this. I am back.
That was quick.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's quick, yeah.
Been through it before. Hopefully it works this time. Okay. Let me see if I can share my screen. Are you guys seeing my screen now?
It's loading up for us right now, but it looks like
Okay.
it's wanting to work. Just give it a moment.
Fingers
There we go.
crossed.
You can see
You
it.
guys could see it? Okay, great. Apologies again for the quick delay there. Yeah, so again, haven't been here at Circuit as long as Jason, but definitely excited to be part of the team. There's a lot of opportunity in what we're doing, and we're very excited. And thank you for giving us the time to talk to you all today. Just a quick overview, and Jason hit most of this, but we are the leader in electric microtransit. Been doing this since 2011. I had have a big footprint in Florida. We customize every program that we work, with various communities with. We hire locally, so our driver ambassadors are W-2s. They're from your community, they're from your markets. And we are, have longevity within the markets that we work with. We're long-term partners. We're not here to come and go. This is a key part of our business model. Just an overview. We have national scale, but definitely local expertise. We're in 50 markets. We've done over 10 million rides. We are an all-electric fleet. So that's a big part of our value proposition. You can see the statistics on gas avoided and CO2 avoided. And you can see some logos of a variety of the markets and partners that we're working with. As Jason mentioned, obviously a lot of municipalities. We also work with private partners in a lot of cases in our different markets. So hotels and other property owners. This deck, I believe, Jason, we're going to distribute this. There's a lot more content in here, but what I wanted to do, given we had a short amount of time today, was really focus on more of the live demo to show you our operational dashboard tool, which we call Pulse. So I'm going to switch out of here now and actually go into a live view of Pulse. You guys can still see my screen? Just confirming? Okay. So Pulse is our operational dashboard. So for our partners, they have a view in for their market. As a circuit admin, I have a broader view. What we're going to be looking at, though, actually is Pompano Beach. We thought that might be an interesting market to just kind of look at, obviously, in the Florida area. It's also a market we've been in for a while, have a long-standing relationship with them and have had really good results. What we're looking at here is kind of our main dashboard, or the initial dashboard that you see when you log into Pulse, our service performance, and you can see the core KPIs there on the top, total passengers. Right now we're looking at the last 30 days. Obviously, like a lot of dashboarding tools, you can modify it, look at specific timeframes that you want. And then you also have the ability to look at the priors, right? So a lot of the delta numbers that we're looking at here right now are prior 30 days. We could change it for same days prior month. We could change it for same days prior year, or we could customize it as we might want to. And then, can definitely change the spans, as I mentioned. We have another set of tooling that actually is relatively new to Pulse, but actually is getting a lot of attention with our partners that I wanted to kind of go through, and I'm happy to poke around or answer questions. Please feel free to stop me if I'm buzzing through stuff too quickly. But this is our spatial analytics, and this is really allowing us and our partners to understand how the service is being used and understand how the service is working, both from a perspective of how we can improve it, but also from a perspective of kind of how it's moving and adjusting. So starting with a density view, you can see in here basically by the service area that we have within Pompano Beach, sort of where the trips are, pickups and drop-offs, right? This is kind of a honeycomb view, as we call it internally. I can change it to look at, which ones are leading from a coloring perspective. You can change the visualizations if I want to get into more of a, kind of a detailed view. And then, of course, the heat map option is there as well. The other one that's actually becoming really interesting for us is actually looking at the pickup and drop off pairs, right? So this allows us to look at the service, kind of across everything in terms of where people are typically going. So right here, I've got the O&D pairs, the coloring of the coloring of the lines that we're looking at is actually by distance. We can change that to actually look by color by density. We can zoom in and actually look at specific areas. And if I click on one, what it'll allow me to do is actually look at, for example, here, this particular start point where typically the rides are going, right? And where they're coming back from. You can go back to the global view and kind of look around. So this is really useful for, I think, a variety of reasons. Part of it is depending on the partnerships and sort of how the markets are working, understanding, if there are funding partners that are helping contribute to the services, if there are different areas that are getting more attention or potentially growing. This can be really valuable in terms of helping to understand how we're evolving the service areas, how we're evolving the service design, and going from there. It also looks really cool. But that's just part of it. Any questions on this? I don't want to buzz through. If anyone has any questions or anything you'd want me to kind of poke a little bit more on. The tool is very extensive, so we can look at some other areas too if there's stuff that people are interested in, or I can dive in more.
What is the dot that looks like it's in the water?
That's a great.
I'll jump in there. That's the pier. So
Pier?
Oh yeah.
It's just like we're not driving to the end of the pier. It's a Google Places location in the app. So we drop off on the land side of the pier where the street is. But it just used that to identify. And then Kevin, if we could go back to the summary performance just for a minute here, I just want to give a quick highlight. This is one of the most successful programs we have, or we know of, micro transit wide, really around the world. We only have 3 neighborhood electric vehicles serving this. So essentially golf cart style vehicles with 6 seats, all electric. And we're moving about 10,000 people a month with just those 3 vehicles. And you can see our passenger per revenue hour is 9.14. I know FTA requirements to get funding for buses or shuttles is 7.1. So we are just absolutely blowing that number out of the water with a much smaller format vehicle. And it really shows the preference for these on-demand programs over fixed route. Now, we're not against fixed route. We actually run some of those ourselves, but we try to complement them and feed the longer range fixed route systems. So we do work closely with our county partners, but really serving municipal needs and trying to dig in and make these programs as efficient as we can. There was one other thought, and then Kevin, one last thing, if we can go to the live ops, this is something important and few things to mention here. We did just roll this program or this platform out a few months ago. So there is a feedback feature where we want to hear from our partners who are using this on a regular basis of what new features they'd like to see built into it. And we have our own team focused on that 100% of the time. But this live ops view is something that we've heard, is important to our partners. So they can go in real time, see what the queues are. And then if you switch over to the drivers, we'll see exactly where the vehicles are at any given time. Again, only 3 vehicles here, moving about 10,000 people a month. So a wildly successful program. And we have many examples of it. Another larger scale program we have is the city of Fort Lauderdale, where we are moving about 20,000 riders a month with a fleet of all electric, smaller vehicle types. And that one specifically is a mixed fleet. So we have some sedans, we have some wheelchair accessible vans, and we do have a lot of these neighborhood electric vehicles.
So by chance, this is Margaret speaking. As far as the as far as the Tampa Bay market,
Yep.
have you reached out? Like, I know that Tampa Downtown Partnership,
Yeah,
they have the historical program. They used to run the Downtowner, and now they currently have Dash. I didn't know if you had data from them or had any conversations with them. Because
I have had conversations with,
Yeah.
I've had conversations with Karen Crest there.
Yeah.
And I know that they're running it themselves right now, and we've said, we'd love to take a look at it for you or help out with either the technology or the operations piece. So I have spoken with her, and it sounded like they were going to run it themselves for a while. I've also over the years spoken with Hart and some of the other municipalities, but I think we've advanced quite a bit since then. Our closest market to date is downtown Orlando. So we have a partnership with the city and the downtown CRA there. But we have been getting a lot more interest in Hillsborough County. There was a St. Pete Beach RFP that was due last week we submitted to. So we're definitely interested in the area. And again, just, really appreciative of the opportunity to come and speak with you all and share with what we've been doing.
Okay, and then just as a note, Karen is retired, so
Okay,
there's.
I guess I'm overdue to check back in with them then.
Well, it hasn't been that long ago.
Okay, all right, good. Thanks for the heads up, though. I appreciate it.
I could use a little bit more of an overview. Maybe everybody else here already knows how you operate, but how do passengers find your vehicles and how do you interact with your passengers?
Yeah, we have an on-demand app, so similar to a Lyft or an Uber, but we geo-fence the coverage area that you can get a ride within. And that's a collaboration with the city of what are the areas that we're trying to cover. Some of our markets we do citywide. Most of them we do not. Pompano, for example, we're doing the Barrier Island and their small downtown village area, although we're about to do an expansion because they're losing 200 spots on the beach for the construction of a new W residences and hotel that goes into effect next month. So we're adding a few more vehicles going further west. And they wanted the goal of those vehicles to bring people in from the western suburbs, be able to get to the beach without having to drive there and be able to find a parking spot. So a lot of nuance like that where different projects come up along the way. But at the core, we're doing these public transportation services, typically funded by the cities. We do a lot of FDOT grants and some other grants, federal and state grants that we go after. Transportation disadvantage we've applied to for a couple of our partners, although I heard that was just not going to be funded this year. But in general, for the public facing side of it, you download an app. We also do call centers sometimes. And then we stage the vehicles at popular locations. We have all of this historical data, so we know what the trends are and we can allocate where the vehicles are at certain times of the day to anticipate those requests. But we work very closely with our city partners to constantly evaluate the data and just make the program as efficient as possible. Wait times are kind of the big metric that we're always looking for. as a company where we shoot for under 15, but in most of our markets, we're under 10 minutes for an on-demand system that's generally free or very low cost. It's kind of a tough one to beat.
Is it a door-to-door service or do you?
It
have
is.
to- Okay,
It's typically anywhere within the geo fence that we set up is door to door. We can do smart stops, so we can dictate specific stops that people can request to or from. But in general, most 97% of our locations are door to door within that geo fence.
How many vehicles do you run in Orlando?
Orlando, we have 4 vehicles that run downtown. And the intention is they want to expand that. It could potentially double or go up to 10 vehicles. We also have an ADA vehicle that operates. In general, those are on standby. So if somebody has an ADA request, they can do that through our app. And then we'll deploy that vehicle for the rider.
Good, thanks.
Hey, Jason, this is Dexter from Hart. Just out of curiosity, I know you said you spoke to Hart. How long ago was that? Was it anytime recent?
It probably hasn't been in the last year. I know we met some people I'm trying to remember which conference it was, but I've spoken to people there over the years, but it's probably been at least a year since I touched base with anybody there.
Yeah, okay. I'll reach out and maybe we could get a call put together with some of our team members. There's been some changes at Hart in the last
Okay.
year. We've got some new employees, so I think it'd be good.
Yeah,
Get an overview of this with Hart as well. Yeah,
that'd be great.
cool.
And if it's okay, Harry, I can either send this, I think you have this deck anyway, but maybe we'll add a little bit more if you want to distribute it, or we're happy to send it out. But we'll include a lot more information too. I know we had limited time here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, this presentation will be in the link to the agenda materials, so everyone will have
Okay.
access to it.
Great.
Great.
Okay, any other comments, questions? Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks
Nice
all.
to meet you all.
Have a good day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, our next agenda item, we'll be hearing from Dwayne Brown from Hart on real-time information at bus stop and transit centers. Welcome, Dwayne. And it's good to meet you in person after all these years.
Yeah, so it's-
Good afternoon, everybody. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, yep.
So my name is Dwayne Brown. I'm a project manager with Hart, the Hart PMO. And I'm going to be presenting our emerging technologies and amenities initiative. So this initiative falls up under our basic transit infrastructure portfolio projects, portfolio programs. The portfolio includes design program where we have 3 engineering firms under contract. We have a construction program which has 3 general contractors under contract, and we have a shelter program which has 1 vendor under contract, and emerging technologies, which is what we're discussing today. We have 1 vendor under contract for that program. So the real-time information component falls up under the emerging technology program and focuses on providing arrival information, accessible communications, and other improvements that make riding easier and safer and more reliable. This is the next step in modernizing the customer experience at the curb. So currently Hart's bus stops are broken down into 4 categories. We have small, which is a type A, medium, which is referenced as type B, large is a type C, and then we have transfer and transit centers are a type B. So a type A, which is shown on here on the screen, is a small bus stop, is one what we would consider to be a pole stop, meaning there's little or no transit amenity at the bus stop other than a sign and a landing pad. Type B or medium is a stop that with with transit amenities such as shelters and benches. The small and medium bus stops will essentially have like the same type of amenities that we're gonna be, the same types of new amenities, such as a solar pole, which is the you can see in here is the pole that's there. It's gonna have a solar panel on top. It's gonna include LED lighting, and it's gonna have a 13-inch e-paper reader that's gonna display the real-time information that we're gonna have out there. It's gonna be a cellular modem that's gonna be attached to there, and along with a push button ADA enunciation system where we can have people push the button, our riders press the button and enunciate what bus stop they're at and give them information about what's up and coming there. At our type C bus stops is our large type bus stop. They usually have a bus bay, or a bus bay is something where a bus can be pulled off of the street and be out of traffic. At these bus stops, we're gonna do like a solar pole with the lighting on it, but we're gonna have a bigger screen that's in the back of the shelter for our people, our riders who get on at those bus stops. And then at our transit centers, we're gonna have a larger screens there. We got at NTC right now, we're gonna be placing 3 of these larger screens there at NTC to give out information, as well as placing 13-inch monitors at all of the bus bays that we have at NTC, and we're also going to be doing it at UATC. Those are our two largest transit facilities what we have right now. So that as a part of this first, the initial part of this initiative. So the map that here shown is the locations where we initially identified, broken down by the BOCC districts 1 through 4. It depicts a mixture of time points and new shelter locations and transit centers, with the majority of the locations being represented in BOCC district 1 and 3. So these are our goals for the program over the next couple of years, and how we plan on what our vision is for it. So we're going to start out by launching at 2 transits out of our 2 largest transit centers, UATC and MTC, and then 85 locations around, 85 bus stops around the county at those locations were shown. And then we plan on expanding to putting these type systems at our high ridership stops, and then over time we're going to try to do it across the broader network as many as we can. So that's my presentation. Are there any questions?
And that looks like a great enhancement to being able to provide real-time information. I know that within the TPO, there's also initiative for the transit signal prioritization as well. So this all goes and works well together. Eventually, yeah.
Yes.
Is this going to also include some kind of a application for the users, like phone app or something like that, where they can?
So there's already a phone app that they have. It's called Transit that's already that's available for use right now, where that information can be found. But as the bus stop guy, BTI, Basic Transit Infrastructure, it's just a fancy word for I'm the bus stop guy. So and I do we have 2,314 stops across 1,000 square miles of Hillsborough County, and so I'm at bus stops a lot. And the main question that we get, regardless of if you have a phone or if you have whatever, is when's the next bus coming? When is this happening? When is that happening? And to kind of, and we're trying to meet that need where it is, because not everybody has not all of our bus riders have phones or have the ability to kind of to get that real time information. So we're trying to make it available for everybody, and also upgrade our bus stops for people who have disabilities and things like that, so we can give them more information there. So it's a big part of our plan and what we're trying to.
Very good, thank you.
And that
Yeah,
sounds
and
like
this is Dexter. I just wanted to add to what Dwayne is saying. So the transit app is our main app, which is branded with heart. And then we have the ability that users can call into our IVR as well and put their bus stop number in, and then it tells them when their bus will arrive as well. So I just wanted to add that.
That reminds me, your description reminds me of like, if you ever take the tram at the airport from long-term parking to the terminal, it'll tell you how much longer before the next train comes.
Yes,
You see that at a lot of airports, so it's the same concept, right?
yes, it's the same concept.
Perfect.
Right now, the Hillsborough Transit Authority is about 20 years behind in technology, so we're just trying to get caught up.
Yeah, it's hard when you're not well funded. So.
Yeah.
So I have a question. This is Harry. So you showed two different structures. Like one was the smaller one that had the solar panel, and then a small, like a 13-inch display, and then there was a mock-up of like a larger, like full display.
Yes.
Is that correct? So at the transit centers, you have the large display, and then you've got like the lollipop bus stops now that still have the small display that will show
Yes.
one coming in this amount of time, two, so on and so forth.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay.
So we plan on having, so those displays are like 55 inches or larger. We're still kind of working within with the vendor to get the right size and get the right equipment at the transit center. But they're gonna be large screens, large format screens that's gonna allow us to display multiple bus stops and multiple, especially at the transit center, because most of our bus routes ride through there, come through. So it's gonna allow us to be able to share that information with multiple bus stops. And then as you get down to the smaller stops with the smaller systems in them, they'll still be able to handle multiple routes on them. It'll be a little bit smaller, more intimate for the users at the bus stop.
Very good.
Thank you.
Anyone online? Did you see anything in the chat?
Yeah, can I ask a question, is Achilles? So you mentioned obviously, it's on the slideshow to the improvement of customer experience with this, and I mean everybody knows that it's a needed thing. It's nice to have. I was wondering if you had any kind of information on potentially this would bring new customers or new ridership at all if implemented out there.
So our hope is that it will. So so when we got funding for this project, so I'm giving you just a little bit of background. I'm a rambler, so sometimes I just kind of talk. But we got funding from FDOT to do this project, and one of the things that we did as part of this project was we got funding for we purchased new shelters, and we've been doing, as you can see, we have these new shelters that are popping up everywhere. We have 131 as of this morning shelters across the county, the brand new shelters across the county. Where we're putting, we're phasing out those old shelters, those old green shelters, what we had, and moving those in. And what we discovered, and the numbers play this out, is that when we place shelters, when we place places for people that comfortable, and when we build amenities there, more people ride there, more people come to those bus stops. And when you have more people coming, the amenities that follow with that it drives these new amenities and stuff drives people coming to bus stops and using those bus stops. So to say that I can't tell you how many people we think it's gonna generate new customers generated coming there, but we do know when we place amenities, more people come to those stops.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and this is Dexter too, and to add to what Dwayne is saying, a lot of it has to do with lighting at night. I think a lot of customers and patrons don't feel safe, especially women traveling by themselves. And as we bring security lighting and that type of stuff to the stops, it enhances people feeling more confident to ride the bus. Yeah.
Very good. Additional questions?
Anyone online with any questions?
Okay. Thank you very much, Dwayne. Really appreciate you being here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next presentation, we're going to hear from Angela Rau. and he's going to present to us about ICAS, turnkey project on, to enhance safety.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Angela Rao. Fortunately or unfortunately, I failed inside voice in kindergarten, so probably everybody can hear me. I'm going to guess because I have a very loud voice.
What?
I don't know if that's good or bad. Right, exactly. Well, thanks for giving us the opportunity to speak here today. Talking about, as the title says, dynamic all-red extension. And coincidentally, karma is wonderful sometimes. We'll be talking about red light running today, and it is National Stop Red Light Running Week this week. So it just couldn't have been timed any better. So thank you, Karma, for making that work out. Oh, let's see.
Arrow keys.
Not working. Maybe the. Wonder if the.
Wasn't it actually just 2 days ago, the anniversary of the very first traffic signal? Is that Dayton, Ohio? Do we have a historian on signalization?
Sorry, could you repeat that, Margaret?
I think it's like 2 days ago, maybe it was the anniversary of the first traffic signal. And I'm thinking it was somewhere in Ohio.
Oh, could be.
Does anyone know that?
Oh, wow. So.
All right, someone Google and put it in the chat.
Yeah.
I don't.
Who forgets it when's green light flicker?
Yeah, I mean, there was someone that stood in a box and they would flip the signals. I mean,
Right.
back to between red and green. So
Cool.
anyway.
Well, as you can see, the title is Intersection Collision Avoidance Safety Program. That's just a nickname that or the ICAS, we invented at the state of Lakeland. We installed the program in 2019. So by all means, that's just a name. Certainly, Hillsborough TPO and its agencies could name it whatever they want. You have a contest or something and see who gets the best name. I heard a lot about connectivity in earlier presentations, and certainly this is something that we'll be looking at as well in terms of this operation. Hate to bring sad news, but these presentations, you got to do it. You just got to do it. It's required by law that over 1,100 persons were killed in red light running crashes in 2024. You can see that almost over 140,000 injuries. And I'm convinced that, I know this is going to be weird. You never say this in a safety thing, right? You never say that the phone could be a saving device. Usually they're a distraction, 99.99999% of the time. I'm convinced that at red lights, because motorists are looking at their phone, which is allowed, by the way, by law, at a red light stopped, that I'm sure that because of the delay that they experience, those numbers could be even higher. So just anecdotal information, I don't know, just a guess, that because I see a lot of people starting after about 1 or 2 seconds on the green. And so could it be that that's actually reducing these? It's kind of an interesting study in itself. I never would say that looking at your phone and driving is a good thing. It's not, except it's okay when you're stopped at a red light. These are just rough estimates. Please don't go by these numbers. I just wanted to give you a sense of scale. That even in Hillsborough County, something in the order of 5 people, and I apologize saying in the order when there's a fatality involved. A number is a number, a person's a person. So please forgive me for these rough estimates. I just wanted to give you a sense of scale of what we're talking about just in our county alone. Here, these are just estimates. Well, I guess the question is, okay, right, all these horrible things happening. Is there anything we can do to help mitigate the safety problem? As people know, there's regular law enforcement on the ground, which, by the way, is one of the most dangerous law enforcement and deployments, shall we say, that law enforcement tells me that because they have to actually witness the red light run and then chase them sometimes through the intersection, which is dangerous. So they, fortunately, thanks to traffic engineers, there's a blue light now on many signals, so that the officer could be at the far side of the intersection, at least doesn't have to go through the intersection, or then could call another officer and say, hey, I got one at such and such. So that's helped mitigate it a little bit. Well, what would we do if we could predict that someone's going to run a red light? That's what really this program is about. Can we predict a red light run? And if so, can we do something about preventing a crash by, let's say, delaying the perpendicular green movement? So that's kind of what this is all about. And I'm not going to go into the details. If you're interested, we can certainly go into a little bit more detail. It's sort of the opposite of the dilemma zone. Instead of extending the green and a dilemma zone, we're doing the opposite. Really, we're extending the all red phase and just giving a bit of a pause, shall we say, to perpendicular traffic. Because I can't do anything about the red light button. That's done. That's a done deal. I can't stop that person. Or hopefully we could stop the crash, or at least create a near miss condition instead of a crash. Again, some of the details as to how the electronics works. Well, let's see. Yeah, I mean, this is very rudimentary. You guys probably know this, but you could probably give this part of the presentation with all the experience you all have with ITS. Basically, a sensor giving a message to the controller basically saying, aha, I think we have one. I think we have a situation which is right in the sweet spot. We can talk about that later if you have questions about saying, yes, we should extend the all red phase in this case, in this very specific case, and then create a safer environment so that the runner goes through and the perpendicular stays put. And basically, it's just really an issue of, in this particular case, a 3-second delay. That could vary depending on the algorithm. Of course, I just picked three seconds arbitrarily as a holdback, and then continue with green. Self-fitting with your committee, intelligent transportation systems, and that this is intelligent in the sense that it's not on all the time. It's only on when you need it. So you minimize any adverse effects on coordination or other delays that occur in the system. Basically, we're working right now with the TPO on potentially formulating a project to continue soon. I know that it's in the works right now, but let's say that let's pretend that it's August 3rd again, and that there is a notice to proceed on this. It's very close. It's very, very close. Yes. And so, given that we're expecting a final, but in April. But let me step you through very briefly the timeline. The literature review will be important to have up front, assessments of information, and then by November 16th, we're hoping to have at least a good, solid assessment of materials necessary for the TPO and its agencies to say, hey, I think I understand what's going on. We've had a lot of input. Let's move on to the next phase of seeing where we can actually recommend locations throughout the county in a logical sequence. And that's kind of the gist of it. It's sort of I'm just going to go through this quickly because really the bottom line is that it's sort of, as the name implies, a turnkey protocol to say, look, it's kind of like a blueprint where you could say as an agency, oh my gosh, this looks interesting to us. Let's see if for our circumstances with our traffic signal operations, does it make sense to at least look at implementing this in our system? And if so, here are some guidelines of what you may want to consider. Types of vendor equipment that's out there, vendors, the types of intersections that may be a good candidate, shall we say, for this type of work. So you don't spend a lot of time doing the behind the scenes work. You almost have like a go-to document that says, oh, if I just do section AD and C4, I can do it in my system and put in 4 intersections, for example, without a lot of background. The background will have been done for you. So that's kind of the whole premise of this operation, shall we say. And as kind of mentioned, we're obviously going to be working with the TPO and communities like ITS in terms of this, and get your feedback, get your understanding, your desire. In fact, in a moment, I'll show you a slide that'll talk in terms of how do you think this protocol could be useful to your particular agency. And then if so, maybe start thinking about someone that you might want to appoint to be part of the stakeholder group that we'll be reaching out to. We would greatly appreciate that. Not to do that today, but I mean, maybe have some thoughtfulness on that, because I'm sure Harry and I and some others are going to come knocking at your door very soon. So might as well give you the heads up right now. And of course, as I said earlier, finalize protocol in April following as well. Again, here's my two questions to you, if you will. And again, don't have to answer right now, but I do ask you please to consider that. And if you do get a knock on the door, that you won't be surprised as to what's going on. And with that, be happy to take any questions. The thoughts.
Absolutely. I'll just step into, for those of you online, this is Harry Walsh, TPO staff. So thank you so much, Angela, for that overview. So I'm going to be the project manager for this on the TPO side. Angela's going to be the project manager on it for the Kilson side that will be helping us with this. So we are still in the process. We're waiting for FDOT to get back to us with a notice to proceed so we can actually start with this project. But we just wanted to come to you today with kind of a big overview of what we're even trying to do here, and that will be coming back to you for further questions and clarifications. So with that, I do see we have any question online.
Yeah, it's Achilles.
Achilles.
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
So I thought I saw on the slideshow, and I'm going to go back to check. This is achieved through a vector sensor. I wonder if that's a different sensor than a camera, and if not, then can this be done using the regular cameras used for detection, so that we minimize devices, or it has to be done via this new system?
Great question. So it is a sensor-based system. It is. Currently, the best way to answer that question is to say that most sensors require an upgrade to be able to do the computational analysis about speed and distance, and then be able to communicate that information to the controller. So I can't swear to you if the current equipment has that capability. If it does, great. And that's one of the things we're going to discover in our analysis, that maybe some of the sensors that are already on board may have that capability to do that. We don't know at this time. That's certainly as part of the exploration. If not, then we would recommend particular types of sensors that would do that computation of speed and distance and transfer that information to the controller, so the controller can then decide how much time to extend the all-red.
Thank you.
As a supplementary answer to your question, I could also say that, let's say that the system is more generic right now, the hardware, then probably we'll be looking at something like about a $15,000 to $20,000 adjustment or add-on to the current technological equipment in the field, something in that order. Let's say $20,000. By the way, there's a great point that, in fact, Harry brought it to my attention. Thank you, Harry. About a program in North Carolina called DARE, D-A-R-E. And in fact, it's kind of like the dynamic all-red extension, kind of fits that thing. And I was looking at some of the data. They were talking about something like a 30% reduction in crashes with the benefit cost ratio. If I remember correctly, please don't quote me. I think this is correct. 143 to 1, because one fatality, you know how that goes, right? Even one major injury, even property damage, and you have a truck or something dealing with it, and with a $20,000, say 40 if you start from scratch installation, the benefit cost ratio is enormous. It's kind of an interesting little bit of information.
I do have two follow-up comments. First one is mentioned sensor, but there's a chance that like in Smoke County, we are implementing new detection technology with analytics. Maybe there's also a possibility that you could do this with an edge device that actually gets data from the existing sensors. So instead of just adding a sensor, you can add something that interfaces the data that is coming from the sensor. And that's one comment. The second comment is, have you thought of also interfacing this with connected vehicle technology? So we could also send a safety message or even engage in a connected vehicle use case scenario. So it could do both things.
Let me, yeah, there's this one here. Yes, perfect question. Thank you. So yes, the short answer is yes, because the whole intent is to explore how we can add the message of, I'm pretty sure that the other presentation also talked about communication back to the user. I've forgotten which particular methodology, but getting information to either in the dashboard of a vehicle or a mobile phone, or interestingly enough, And we've experimented with this a little bit in Lakeland with a pedestrian or bicyclist on his or her phone to give them additional information. Now, is it a perfect system right now? I don't think so. I think the latency is still a factor, but that is being worked on. And that latency, that delay of communication is getting shorter and shorter and shorter, probably every month. So that's very encouraging and promising. Yeah,
Thank you.
great question. Thank you.
So can I also say, so I'm actually working on a project for District 7 right now, where they're deploying in Pinellas County and in Hillsborough County at 10 intersections, a AI-based edge technology that it's about pedestrian and bicycle detection, and they're going to add blackout signs to communicate that message out to people that don't have the connection, but also looking at the connected vehicle aspect as well. So this just seems like an additional aspect that wouldn't necessarily be, I think, an issue to add. And I would also mention that last year we finished a project with Sarasota, City of Sarasota, where they basically did the same thing with the same technology, but it was for pedestrians. So the idea was that if a pedestrian was pushing the button and they disappeared, you would cancel the call, and therefore you don't need to call a pet cycle when not needed. So this is like a separate kind of situation, or even extended. If, let's say, you have a lot of people or an elderly crossing the crosswalk and you needed more time, you could extend the green if you detect that they're still there. So all that is capable using, that's why I asked at the beginning, because it seems like if you have the camera and you have the vision there, then it's just adding data layers on the detection and being able to do exactly what Brian said. So I think there is a lot to be done, and maybe you can, look at those aspects with technologies that are already being deployed now. And I can share the company if you wanted later on, but that's my thought instead of adding new stuff, unless it's needed. Yeah.
That's a great point. Thank you. I've been making some good notes. I appreciate the comments
I
already.
always consider an agnostic solution because you could get more participation with that instead of just, specific sensor that works with just a controller, something agnostic. It'll be easier to implement.
That's a great point. Yeah.
In the same lines associated with that, we'd obviously need to have mainline detection.
Can you repeat that, Margaret? I'm sorry.
We would have to have mainline detection,
Mainline detection.
and we don't have that throughout the city. So it's just something to consider. We would need to upgrade and make sure that we have mainline detection at any locations we want deployment.
Or
So,
maybe where there's no detection, you could actually just put a sensor for this. I mean, it depends
right,
how they design it.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Both are correct at the same time, actually. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Agreed.
yeah, because it's a
Agreed.
different condition. Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay.
Sure. No, just a few things. One, Achilles, I'm going to ask you about that AI thing for future presentations. I appreciate that. But thank you for all your comments, because just to kind of zoom back out and reiterate, we at the TPO, we don't own or operate the roads or the signals, and we know that there's a lot of other efforts that are going on, like Brian, what you mentioned with Hillsborough County, what Achilles mentioned happening in other parts of District 7. So this isn't meant to dictate what you should do, or it's not meant to override or conflict with anything else. It's meant to be turnkey. We want it to be useful legwork that would then make it easier for City of Tampa, for Hillsborough, Plant City, Temple Terrace to say, hey, we might be interested in something on our roadways. So that's why all this feedback is so useful to us, that we can make it something that's actually worthwhile to everyone here.
We appreciate that. Oh, yeah. Definitely would want to participate.
Excellent. So, great.
Yeah. Well, thank
Any
you.
more
Thanks for listening.
comments? Were there any more comments online? I don't see any. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Angelo. Really appreciate your time here. Okay. Our next presentation will be the overview of the SS4A, Safe Streets for All, if you're not familiar, for arterial signal timing from Jonathan Elder.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the ITS Committee. I'm Jonathan Nixon Elder, TPO staff. Today I'll provide an overview of the Tampa Bay Arterial Signal Timing and Speed Management Planning Study and Demonstration Project. The TPO will be partnering with the University of Central Florida Smart and Safe Transportation Lab to conduct the study, bringing together local planning expertise with nationally recognized transportation research, funded with over $2 million from the Federal Safe Streets and Roads for All grant program. This project kicked off in June 2026 and is scheduled to run through June 2030. This grant has been in the works for several years, pending authorization to proceed, which is why this may seem familiar for some of the people. This will allow for the TPO and UCF to conduct low-cost, low-disruption, safety project implementation and evaluate the results thoroughly, providing insights that will contribute towards planning future safety improvements. The project focuses on conducting supplemental safety analyses along the high-injury network corridors and roadways where severe and fatal crashes occur at disproportionately high rates. Using that analysis, we will pilot several low-cost speed management strategies. These include optimizing traffic signal timing to encourage safer travel speeds, as well as enhancing roadway signage to improve driver awareness and compliance. Selected demonstration corridors will then serve as real-world test locations, where these strategies can be implemented and carefully evaluated. A key component of this project is the performing before and after analysis so that we can objectively measure how effective these improvements are in reducing speeds and improving overall safety. Ultimately, this effort has two primary goals. First, to make travel safer on corridors with the greatest safety needs. And second, to develop proven, scalable approaches that can be replicated throughout the Tampa Bay area and across Florida. This project is organized into 3 phases. Phase 1 focuses on building the analytical foundation. During this phase, we will identify and collect the necessary data, perform preliminary analysis, and conduct more detailed evaluations to identify the corridors where speed management strategies have the greatest safety benefit. Phase 2 moves into planning and design. Based on the findings from phase 1, the project team will develop proposed solutions, prepare a demonstration plan outlining the selected strategies and implementation approach. Then phase 3 is the implementation and evaluation phase. This includes developing the demonstration systems, installing any necessary sensors or supporting technology, and collecting performance data throughout the demonstration period. As the project progresses, we are happy to come back and provide updates on the implementation and data collection, as well as the evaluation of effectiveness of the demonstration strategies and documented lessons learned. This project will conclude with the final SS4A report, documenting the results, providing recommendations for future implementation. Major strength of this project is the use of multiple data sources to provide a comprehensive understanding of traffic operations and roadway safety. We will leverage microwave vehicle detection system, or MVDS, along with automated traffic signal performance measures, or ATSPM, to evaluate traffic flow and signal performance. Kindly note that actual data sources used will ultimately depend on site selection, capabilities, capacity, or need for additional data sources, and this process is currently ongoing. We're working on scheduling a stakeholder meeting with local transportation authorities towards the end of August, beginning of September, to discuss data and infrastructure access requirements. The operational data will be combined with crash records to better understand where and why severe crashes occurred. We'll also incorporate floating vehicle data, which provides valuable information on travel speeds and travel times, as well as publicly available camera feeds and other existing transportation infrastructure. By integrating these diverse data sources, we can make informed decisions, accurately measure project outcomes, and maximize the use of infrastructure that is already in place. In closing, this project represents a practical, evidence-based approach to improving road safety by combining advanced data analysis with targeted low-cost speed management strategies. We can identify solutions that save lives, improve traffic operations, and provide a model that can be applied throughout Florida. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Excellent. Thank you. I applaud you. This looks like a wonderful program. I have a strong background in signal timing. Most of that's been up in the DC area and a very long time ago. Definitely see the value of using traffic signals to control and, well, to really manage speeds. So this looks great. I think that this is going to be very valuable. Is FDOT a part of the conversation? Are they one of the stakeholders? So we'll be allowed to evaluate what's going on
Absolutely, we have,
on those corridors?
yeah, we have several people identified who will be contacting, from our liaisons to the traffic engineers, et cetera.
Okay, good. And when are you gonna start the stakeholder?
That's tentatively scheduled for end of August, beginning of September, based on everybody's availability.
And to that point, that there's a reason why I wanted the previous item and this item next to each other, because we're both gonna be asking for stakeholder feedback. So we want to make sure that TPO staff does not drive you all insane with phone calls and emails, so we can identify who, who at each different organization would be relevant and interested, get their information out there.
Okay,
If Dr. T at UCF is also leveraging his contacts at UC or FDOT to make sure that full engagement.
okay. Are there any other questions from anyone here in the room?
This is Achilles. No questions, just a little comment. I know that we've worked with both the city and the county for SS4A grants. One thing I would say to the TPO is obviously I don't know if they reached out to Cutter for help, but we would appreciate in the future if we are kind of thought of as a partner also for future collaboration on grants like this. Because we definitely have the capabilities. So I don't know how it came to be, but like I said, it's definitely nice to see local partners working together.
If I've been in communication with Jason from the City of Tampa, because I know they've also had several, we're in the process of getting SS4A grants underway as well.
Right.
Okay. Well, we look forward to hearing more from you and helping to participate in the project. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're rounding out to the end. So does anyone have anything for the greater good? Any announcements? I do. I have an announcement on the next quarter because he starts in 2 weeks. So I finally have hired a chief engineer. So traffic engineer, 20 years coming into the city of Tampa as my chief, and his name is Patrick O'Connor. And so he's going to be joining in starting August 17th. So I will still participate here. Don't freak out. Yeah, so I'm very excited about that. I'm going to tackle that whole stack of things that I keep visioning. Anybody else? Okay, well, with that, I really appreciate everyone's participation. Really good presentations. Thank you, Harry, and everyone have a wonderful day. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.